Yeah, my experience with Justice League was the first like I got into the movie theater. It was fine during like the commercials and that whatever everything was playing right. They do this interesting thing now where they have like they say Google dim the lights and then it's supposed to dim the lights.
That's interesting.
But it's actually just like a dude flipping a switch to turn off the lights, right?
Oh, so it's not like actual Google or whatever they have.
No,
It's not Alexa.
No, they actually there was one time where that happened and the lights stayed on for a while, and then the lights came and they turned off. I was like, yeah, the dude was probably just like eating a sandwich, sitting in a chair, and it's like, oh shit, just a click. And then I paid for a D-box seat.
How did it actually work?
So like the first 5 minutes, it wasn't working at all in our row.
Oh, that's awful.
And I could see the row in front of me, like their chairs were moving around and doing all this cool stuff, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go get the manager. So I did the whole thing, talked to the manager. She said, I'll turn your seats on. I went back to my seat. Another 3 or 4 minutes went by. I was gonna get up again, but they started moving, and I think I was the only person that was inconvenienced in my row. There was like 2 other people all the way at the other side, and they didn't seem to care, even though they paid the extra money for the D-box seat.
Exactly. Yeah, the point of the D-box is to become more immersed into the movie.
Yeah, which I usually go see these movies in D-box.
Really?
Yeah, I just like I like to encompass the whole point of the film. It's just like a stupid fun action.
I've never done D-box. I just like straight up 2D, no 3D, no IMAX. Just give me the theater. That's how I am.
Yeah, I saw it in 3D. I didn't really like I have a trouble putting glasses on my glasses. So
same.
Yeah, I don't really get the effect. I just have the I just can see the movie now. Like that's the added benefit for me. It's like, oh great, I can see the movie. Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast. We're reviewing Justice League this week. Yeah, it's just me and Ben today. How are you all doing
today?
Hello. I was gonna say you take the reins on this one since this is like normally your
regular. Yeah, you kind of surprised me a little bit. I was like waiting to do the intro, and then you just jump right in there.
Yeah. I don't know. I started doing pre-shows to the show now. I just talk about things, and hopefully it's interesting. I think the actual viewing experience of the movie is worth talking about, so people know like where we're coming from.
Yeah, because I mean, like I don't know if this is actually gonna make it on the show, but like when I went to go see Justice League, the movie didn't start.
Man, I can add it all in.
True, but either way, yeah, the movie didn't start when it was supposed to start, and so I had to politely go to the front, like, "Hey, the movie isn't playing." And then, like 5 minutes later, which is funny because another dude right after I got back decided to go up, thinking I didn't do anything, and then he missed the opening couple of minutes. I was like, oh, "Suck it, bitch! I already did something." And note to people, I didn't yell, I didn't cuss. I just like, "Hey, the student number whatever isn't on. Can you please?" See what's going on. And he goes, yeah, sure. And then sure enough, the problem was fixed. So suck it. No need to be a rude asshole to people who, can't control certain things.
Yeah, just be nice about it. Like, there's no point in being super mean because then you won't get what you want. Like, I get customer emails like to all caps. I'm like, yeah, you can wait a day or two. I'm not going to answer you right away.
Yeah, but if you're polite, I'm like, okay, I'll do something. I'll try to do something for you. But let's talk about Justice League.
All right,
let's talk about Justice. Yeah,
so
this is
what happened in the first 5 minutes? Do you know?
I mean, it was basically your exposition stuff, right. Sort of setting up Batman and the whole thing. So this is Justice League. This is originally directed by Zack Snyder. Reshoots mostly done by Joss Whedon. This stars Ben Affleck as Batman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, Henry Cavill as Superman. Spoilers. And of course, we got Ezra Miller as the Flash, Jason Momoa as Aquaman, with actor's name who I cannot pronounce as Steppenwolf, not the band, not to be confused with the band.
Dude, every single time they talk about Steppenwolf, I'm just thinking about their music. That's funny.
So yeah, this is the first ever team up movie for the DC Extended Universe, as it's being called. So let's talk about it. It's not a good movie. as much as I liked it, and I got a huge smile on my face when I left it, because like, if you look at the sort of production schedule of this movie, this could have been a lot worse. And it's not great. I'm not gonna like defend it like I do Batman v Superman, because I think that movie was legitimately good.
Yeah. Well,
Justice League was a bit of a mess. And I honestly think it's a big of a mess because of Joss Whedon. I think Joss Whedon's the parts you can clearly see are Whedon's, I think, are the worst part of the film. And I can tell you why I legitimately almost walked out of the theater, but then I said, no, it's already almost moves over. Is when we'll get into spoilers in a minute, but basically there's a thing. Batman gets punched really hard by somebody, and there, for whatever reason, Whedon decided that there was going to be a quip there, and like it cuts to Batman like on this green grass in Metropolis, and he's like, "Oh, yep, so I'm bleeding," and it's just like that's when I'm like, "Fuck you, Whedon," because that you can tell. Like, I'm sorry, I said this on our Discord. I'm gonna say it on podcast. Whedon is a fucking hack to me at this point. He's like, Age of Ultron was trash, and he made one of my favorite Marvel villains trash. He's living off his reputation right now, and every single bad thing about this movie to me comes from Whedon's side, and you can tell.
There was a lot of really poor writing in this film.
Right.
I don't know if it's like all on Whedon or if it's just because it's a Frankenstein movie.
I think part of it is because it's a Frankenstein movie, but I think you can tell. To me, the cringiest were Whedon's "quote unquote" needed jokes.
Yeah, I think like even if you go and watch Batman v Superman or like the other movies, like you can tell like there's really poor writing, but at least it makes somewhat sense in that world. And in this one, it's kind of like just there's idioms thrown in and jokes thrown in where they shouldn't be, or they just don't have a punchline. Or there's nothing to, like, there's no payoff to the line. I don't know. Like, that's what, I can't really give you, like, a specific moment. There's a couple of scenes, which is, like, it still includes the writing, but it's not, like, the punchline stuff. Where I thought they just didn't really belong, or they didn't really add too much to the film, other than probably for, like, people who are super into the comic books. But people who aren't, like myself, there's a couple scenes in there where I'm like, who's that person? We're like, what's their importance? There's this scene just like it didn't.
I think I.
You think you what?
I think I got a scene that perfectly sums up that, and that was the Martha Lois Lane scene that was just there, and you could tell it was reshot because it stands out, and it was it was all for a thirsty joke.
Yeah, there was that.
That was weird as fuck. She said you were thirsty, and like you could tell Lois gets all super embarrassed because like that's what we know what it means.
Yeah.
But then again, if you're husband to be a Superman, I don't blame you for being thirsty as fuck.
Yeah, I guess so. No, the one I was thinking of that I didn't get anything from was Aquaman and the lady in the air bubble, where they had to put the air bubble thing in Atlantis.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, you probably understand that scene way more than me because you've read comic books.
Here's the thing. That's not a thing in the comic books. They just straight up talk underwater. That's not a thing. So I was like, the only thing because that's character. I was kind of disappointed they didn't mention her name, the redhead who was fighting against Steppenwolf. Her name's Mara. She's Aquaman's love interest. The movie doesn't explain that to you.
Yeah, like I didn't get that at all. Other than like,
yeah,
maybe
I don't think you're supposed to.
Or something, and like,
I don't think you're supposed to, honestly, because like she's pretty much their guardian there. She's gonna be in the Aquaman movie, so you'll know more about if you choose to go see Aquaman next year. But like, for all intents and purposes, they're gonna think you saw Justice League, you saw this redhead. Oh, here she is, and here she's more fleshed out. That whole
like that in this movie, like throughout the whole movie. There's a few more of those like that, and it just doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't add anything. People like me who haven't read comic books don't know who that person is. Their conversation makes sense to them, but it doesn't make sense to any of us. So like we're completely lost. Like, okay, well that was kind of like a waste of our time.
Well, they were explaining. Well, I mean, that scene in particular was kind of giving you Aquaman's origin. Like I
I
will.
guess, but
That's what
I
that
got
was.
more out of the origin of him just like being a badass and saving fishermen and like pounding down whiskey more than his
Yeah, but that's
Atlantis
not his
story.
origin. Though. That's his current state of character.
Eh,
That the purpose of that scene is to tell you, my mom who was an Atlantean dropped me on land and left me to die. That's what that was.
okay, well that's more of an origin scene for her because his origin scene was essentially the beginning of like near the beginning of the movie where he's hanging out in this fisherman area and then you see like the three boxes and like that kind of stuff kind of shows where he came from was Atlantis. At least the way I understand it, anyways. Yeah, I think he was the best part of the movie, Aquaman.
Oh yeah, he was the. I mean, he had the best gag where he starts talking and he starts talking about how hot Wonder Woman is and like starts opening it and then he just stands up and he's reveals he's sitting on the lasso, which is like that's a
Yeah,
cheap joke, but it was great.
it was great. Yeah,
Uh,
that was a great part. I love that part. There's a lot of good stuff in this film that like it could have been way better if there was a better writer involved or at least a director with a real vision.
well, or one director, because again, remember
Yeah, that's what
this was because there's already a petition out there for Zack Snyder's 3-hour cut, because that's another complaint about this movie is that this movie is way too short. It's way too short.
it's too short.
Like it felt so rushed. This movie, like unlike Batman v Superman, which needed time cut off, and if it's a person who liked that film, okay, it needed to be shorter, and paced better. This movie felt so rushed and so like, and apparently it was from Warner Brothers. Like they needed it because they thought the timing was the reason why people didn't like Batman v Superman. Like, no, it's because how you handled, at least to the majority of people, how they handled the characters. This movie needed to, because this movie was about under 2 hours. This needed to be at least 2:15.
Wow, it's 2 hours and a minute. Okay, for some reason I thought it was 2.5 hours. That was
No, it's only
it
it's.
felt like 2.5 hours. Oh my god.
I think a lot of that's attributed to that middle act, because I'll agree that middle act kind of is stale. There's not a lot going on. It's pretty much the heroes just standing around talking.
Yeah.
I think it's that. But continuing negatives a little bit, the Flash was just outright awful.
You like okay, so maybe you telling me that before going in probably painted my view. I was like, oh, he wasn't like that bad. Like as the green member of the team, I can see like him like I can give him a pass on it, but
Well, and that too, like the one moment I liked that was when they go to the bat cave and he goes, it's like a bat, it's a cave, and he's like zipping around,
yeah.
because that's true to Barry Allen in the comics. He's the fan. In fact, in Barry's case, the reason he becomes the Flash is because he read a comic featuring the Earth 2 Flash, the one with the
Really?
silver helmet. Yeah, that's how he becomes the Flash. He read a comic book
That's
and he's
funny.
like, I'm gonna be this. So it makes sense for Barry to have that, but I felt like they dialed him up way too much too often,
Yeah.
and it made me not like him.
I can absolutely see that. Like like I said, I think you telling me that he's super bad, like he's awful, kind of like gave me a little bit more rope for him, I guess.
Okay,
A
I get
little
it.
bit more slack. It's like okay, well, yeah, I was warned that he was bad, so I was able to give him a little bit more leeway. I just want to talk a little bit more about Aquaman. Sorry, but like,
No, go ahead. Let's talk about the sexiness that is Jason Momoa.
okay, so there's like a black couple sitting next to me on the other side, and like I just heard, "There's my man," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Like that's the reason I go to movie theaters, to hear people like say weird, like funny one-liners and stuff like that. I know people don't like people talking in the theater, but like I'm a little bit more relaxed about that. As
Yeah,
long as
I
you're
would
not
have
being
told them.
annoying, as long as you're not being annoying, but you have like funny like not everyone has a funny one-liner, but like that was pretty
Right.
damn cool to hear.
I would have said, shh. I honestly would have done that. Shh.
Yeah, I know.
I'm here to watch the movie, not here to listen to you talk about you being thirsty for Jason Momoa, even though I'm thirsty. But keep it in your head.
The other thing I thought about Jason Momoa was that he kind of looked like Roman Reigns a little bit.
I mean, they're both Samoan with long dudes with long hair, so
Yeah, there you go. So I was
and
like, oh.
and they all have travel tattoos. It's, like I was even joking, like, hey, look, it's Roman Reigns. No, wait, that's not. That's Jason Momoa.
I think that like he had like the best one-liners. Like I said, like him saving a fisherman and like pounding down a bottle of whiskey was. He's the badass of the group, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah. what did you think? I want to talk about Cyborg a little bit. What did you think about Cyborg? Yeah.
Like, his CGI wasn't great. I, he was all right. It wasn't terrible. Like I understood what the actor was going with, in that, you know, he's trying to talk in this sort of robotic way because he's not completely human anymore and kind of moody and everything. And I just thought, you know, him out of the most, there was a lot of missed potential there in terms of what he can do and can
I agree with that. There's a lot of missed potential there. I thought he had the good. I thought he had the look for it.
Yeah, he looked like Cyborg.
Yeah, he had a good look for Cyborg. I thought.
Except they made him look like Iron Man as the movie went on. That's the only other thing.
Because of his chest.
Well, the chest and then like the face plate and just like his overall armor design just looks like Iron Man. Looks like Iron Man, and like Cyborg, like, has a unique design that, like, why didn't you just use that? You have a design template already.
Yeah, because like half of his face is supposed to be robotic and not the whole face, right? Or just.
Well, he was. That's a new thing. Recently, okay. Before he was like, they would have human parts with cybernetic parts. So he was an actual cyborg. He's basically just a robot. Like recent versions of him, he's just a dude with the human face, and most of his body's robotic. 98% of his body's robotic, so that's new. He's not really a cyborg at that point.
Yeah. There was a lot of potential there for him to have the duality. Like, there's a we'll just talk about it. When Superman came back to life, like his robotic parts were like trying to fight Superman, because I think he was made from the ship or from the cube.
It was a combination of, because that was the how they resurrected Superman is the same way Lex Luthor brought about Doomsday in the last movie. So it's a combination of the Mother Box and the Kryptonian pool.
Okay, let's talk about the Mother Box real quick, because that's like part of the plot, and we haven't really talked too much about the plot.
Yeah, the Mother Boxes.
You want to take a lead on this one since you're the comic book guy?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Mother Boxes are basically like what the Mother Boxes are, or like they're basically advanced supercomputers. Okay. That basically they can pretty much do anything, at least within the comics world, and they're tools of these people called and Steppenwolf actually refers to the New Gods. They're these race of people. One group of people is on New Genesis. That's where you have characters like Highfather, Light Ray, and Mr. Miracle. You might have seen Mr. Miracle at some point. And then you have Apocalypse, which is what Steppenwolf is. That's why kind of like Steppenwolf is the advanced guard of Apocalypse. He's sort of like the harbinger for Apocalypse, and or for Darkseid rather. And I'm actually surprised I said Darkseid's name. So, and it's basically a religious allegory. Like there's a Jesus Christ allegory. It's basically a take on Christianity in a weird way.
Man, the devils, they come from the sky.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's the plot.
I like that there was a few references to Batman vs Superman in this movie.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the plot. They're uniting the boxes so that everyone. They basically want to like unite. They want to unite the world.
Well, they want it would terraform the world into making a world that Darkseid could. It's similar to Apocalypse, which is, if you've never seen Apocalypse, or if you've seen Batman v Superman, it's like that, where everything's like a hellish landscape.
Even the first Superman, like that was the whole point of.
Not the same thing, because
they were terraforming it to make it become Krypton. Right?
Yeah, but the difference is it didn't have fire pits. Okay. Apocalypse has fire pits.
Okay, fine,
fire pits, man.
Yeah.
But the same general idea. So that's basically the plot.
Yeah.
He's trying to prepare another world for Darkseid to conquer.
Yeah, I actually thought the way they handled the Superman revival was pretty neat. Like maybe post revival. I mean, like when he's confronting against the other superheroes. Like I didn't think we were gonna get that in this movie.
Yeah, an actual like a fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Like with Cyborg and Wonder Woman, Jason Momoa, and.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It just shows like, wow, you guys are all fucked when it comes to trying to stop Superman. Like he was just punking them left and right, and this he wasn't in his right state of mind.
When Superman had all three of, like, he was holding all three of them, and then like the Flash went around Superman.
Oh, and he's looking at him.
I was like, oh shit! Like, oh
yeah,
god, you can see him. That was really cool.
That was a really cool moment.
Yeah.
And it confirms that Superman was actually dead, because like in the comics, what happens is when Superman quote unquote died 25 years ago, last week by the way, his heartbeat basically just slowed to a crawl. Whereas here it's like, nah, full on resurrection. He was dead.
Yeah.
Which I was like, finally.
So Superman is now Jesus.
If you see a Man of Steel, he was a Jesus allegory.
Yeah. It just cements it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rising
I mean, if you saw Batman v Superman, he's basically pierced on the side, and when they lower him down, it's like when Jesus was lowered down from the cross. It's the same shot. I guarantee you, just match it up. But I will say this one thing, that two things that surprised me about this movie that I didn't expect to hear. You can actually hear the Batman '89 theme. Dun, 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 dun. You can actually hear that in specific segments of the movie.
I noticed it,
yeah, because one, it was Danny Elfman who composed the score.
That's right, it was.
So it sounded so different from like the typical bong that the Hans Zimmer is known for.
That's one thing I was gonna say. I was like, I like the music in the movie.
Yeah, Danny Elfman's great.
Yeah.
And you can also hear the 1976 Superman score, like you can hear very faintly, but you can hear it in there.
Mm-hmm.
It made me super smile when I heard that.
Mm-hmm. What were some other things that you enjoyed about it?
Seeing the Justice League kick ass at the end, like seeing them, like, I mean, minus Cyborg, because this is my comic book nerd. Like, he's only a leaguer like within the past 6 years, so like DC's trying to like. Yeah, and I don't hate him or anything. It's just like my inner nerd is like, that should be Martian Manhunter.
Oh.
You know, like that's all. You know, but I get it.
Okay.
But like seeing like the Flash and all the entire team basically like fight side by side and work together and, you know, quip with each other, like it was awesome. Like I've been waiting for this movie since I was a kid, you know, and as trash as terrible as it is, I still enjoyed my time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say I forgot. But probably my favorite scene in the movie doesn't feature the Justice League. Actually, it's that exposition scene where Steppenwolf first arrives on Earth, and you have the forces of Atlantis, Themyscira. You have fucking Green Lanterns in there, which I was like, oh shit, we got Green Lanterns. And I kept waiting for a Green Lantern to show up at the end of the movie. Like, nope, didn't happen.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all. Like, when I saw that, I was like, oh shit, they actually like tease a little like one huge group of heroes versus enemies and fighting each other.
Yeah,
like, that was super cool to see. Seeing like a Green Lantern die and then the ring like float off, like that was cool to see. I guess that's planting seeds for Green Lantern.
Well, that's what happens when any Green Lantern dies, and so like anytime a ring lantern uses that, it flies it anywhere. So they're but that since I was in the past, it's obviously wouldn't be the same ring. But I did not, because I was expecting no Green Lantern stuff at all. Yeah, so just to see like a green construct out of nowhere, I was like, yes, and it's gone.
What else? I want to kind of save the post-credit stuff for nearing the end of the show.
No, yeah, you got it.
What were some other things that people popped at? I'm just trying to remember. I can't really think of anything. Oh, the one thing I wanted to say was the slow motion scenes for the Flash in here. Like, I kept thinking about Quicksilver and the way they use slow mo in the Fox movies.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I was like, oh man, like Quicksilver, like they did it way better with him. In this one, the most like heroic thing that the Flash did with his slow mo was push the sword back to Diana.
That was a pretty cool moment when he like runs all the way down. At least I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know, like, because I always thought that the moments like Quicksilver, they were always just like when he would use his speed, which is for gags. and they weren't really meant to be heroic. Versus the Flash, I thought generally did cooler looking stuff, and his stuff looked more visually exciting than say Quicksilver's, because Quicksilver's was just gag stuff that it was just freeze frame, move this, and it was all one shot.
There was I feel like Quicksilver's was more, I feel the opposite. Maybe I had my eyes closed when the Flash was moving. I couldn't see him. But there was like the kitchen fight sequence, him saving the Avenger, or not the Avengers, but the X-Men outside the exploding mansion. In this one,
right, but those are one scene, and that's all he got. He only has 2 scenes, versus Flash did several things throughout this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I would rather give my props over to Quicksilver than the Flash if I was to weigh the 2 options.
Okay. Yeah. Better than the Marvel Cinematic Quicksilver, who got shot all to hell by bullets.
Yeah. What a way to go, huh? Getting shot, even though your special ability is to move fast. Or, well, he was protecting kids, right? So.
Yeah. It was Clint. Hawkeye was about to die, and he jumps in the way. Okay. But really, he should have been fast enough to get him all the way. Yeah.
You have anything else you want to say? I think that's...
Gal Gadot continues to be the love of my life. Like, anytime she's on the screen, she just radiates charm. And I really... Like, I'm not going to lie, in terms of character moments, when Bruce calls her out for, like, the reason why you left, for you didn't fight for humanity for 100 years, or you weren't the face...
That's painful.
Is because... It was, yeah, exactly. It was because of, you lost your boyfriend. It was like, God damn.
That's ruthless. Like,
seriously, like, that's Batman. That was the only time I felt like Ben Affleck felt like Batman in this movie, or Bruce Wayne, because he was willing to go there. And then Diana gives him that punch. It's like,
yeah,
jeez, like, she could have killed you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, outside of I thought their chemistry was nice, since they spend the most time together.
Yeah.
Like, I actually thought they worked really, really well together. Mm-hmm. And it just shows that I want more Gal Gadot in my life. I want more Wonder Woman.
Have you seen Lego Batman?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Did you think that Batman in this film represented Lego Batman at all? Or...
No, not only whenever it was a scene written by Joss Whedon, when it was obvious, when he was making jokes. Because I'm sorry, Batman doesn't make jokes in the field. He doesn't. Like, he's like, oh my God, Whedon, you fucking hack. I'm sorry. I'm okay with Aquaman making quips. I'm even okay with Superman making that I don't want to die, and then they stop the thing. He goes, "No, I'd rather be dead." Like, that was actually funny.
That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny. But like hearing Batman like make quips, like, I didn't mind it when he goes, when the Flash asks him, "What's your power?" and he goes, "I'm rich." Like, that was funny.
Like,
but
that scene, that's the one that, like, I was like, oh, like, this is Lego Batman. Because he also keeps acting like that throughout the whole movie for me, anyways. There's like parts where, like, I don't want to be around any of these people. Like, I'd rather be by myself. Like,
oh, because he sees Aquaman. Well, he sees Aquaman. And he goes just like a bat. By the way, I love how Momoa Aquaman just sort of mocks Batman to hell. It's like, so you're just like a bat, really? And then he goes. Hey, like, I just love that moment. I didn't get that at all. I just sort of got that, like, he's sick of Aquaman shit. I'm like,
well, like, there was a whole part where Commissioner Gordon finds out that Batman's working with all these other people, and then, like, Batman's like, it's only temporary, like, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, he's like rolling, because, like, Momoa just straight up mocked him in front of, like, Commissioner Gordon. I think it's mainly that, but I didn't get, like, Lego Batman feeling from him. It's just like,
yeah, I kind of just wish they would just get rid of Ben Affleck and just put an actual Lego Batman in the film. Like, that would make it way better for me.
Well, he already wants out anyway, so. Now, let me ask you this, maybe, because I want to know if you notice as well. Okay. But there's been a whole controversy with this film, because obviously this film had to do reshoots, and just to get some context, when Henry Cavill came back to do Superman, he was already shooting Mission Impossible, which his character had a beard, and apparently Paramount, the studio behind Mission Impossible, would not let him shave his beard. So they had to CGI apparently his beard off, and people have been making fun of this. And I kept, and like, you can find pictures online. Watching the movie, I didn't notice it at all, like the fact that they CGI'd his beard out. Like, yeah, I didn't.
So yeah, did I notice that? I was actually actively trying to find it, and I couldn't see it.
I think you only notice it if you're like if you pause it or if you're like looking for it
Yeah,
outright.
yeah, I couldn't see it. I don't know. Like as soon as he came on the screen, I was like, let me take a look here, and I couldn't see it.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah. There's a really funny part where Superman is carrying an entire apartment building while Flash is pushing a car.
Oh yeah, they kill escorting citizens out. And he goes,
Yeah.
trying to help these people, and like Superman is just carrying this apartment complex.
Yeah.
Ah,
Sorry
like
if I give too many spoilers, but that's just the way I like to review movies.
it's a,
I like to
put it
actually talk
put it in the
about the
put in
part.
the title. Spoilers. We talked about Superman coming to life and everything.
Yeah. It's just like I like to talk about the whole movie and like all the spoilers and everything. Like that's the fun for me.
Yeah, we'll just be sure to put in the show notes that it's a spoiler. It's a spoiler review. So watch the movie if you
Yeah.
haven't seen it already.
Like I would say watch the movie. Um, it's not as good as Batman versus Superman, which will probably say, oh well that means it's terrible, like dog shit. I'm like, no, there's like really good moments in it that I.
There's a good bone structure for the
Yeah.
DC. Like if there was a continuing DC universe, because of the way this box office is going, it looks like there's not gonna be.
Yeah.
But there's like a lot to like here. Like there's a lot to like, minus the weed and stuff.
What else? I think it's better than Suicide Squad. It's probably.
Oh hell yeah!
Because Suicide Squad is like legit a terrible film. I couldn't
Yeah,
recommend
that's
that to
a
anyone.
bad movie. That is
Yeah.
a legit bad movie.
You talked about the box office. It did like what, 97 million domestic.
Like 94, 97 million opening weekend, and for a movie like Justice League, it did less than Batman v Superman. It did less than Thor Ragnarok. Thor 3 did better. Now that being said, obviously the Marvel Cinematic Universe has a reputation over 10 years, yada yada yada. But if you were to tell me like 15 years ago that a Thor 3 movie would have beat Justice League at the box office, I would have said you're fucking crazy. Also, why are you so goddamn fat?
Yeah, like I wouldn't say it would be the death, but these movies tend to have a really high drop off rate after the first weekend.
Yeah. Hope, because like I hear the thing is like I hope it's the opposite for Justice League, because
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about this movie.
Really,
Like,
I think the Rotten Tomatoes is like 3% or something, isn't it?
fuck Rotten Tomatoes. Seriously, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. I hate Rotten Tomatoes.
It's just an
Not-
aggregate score, man. It's like Reddit.
I know, but like, I hate that people use that as a thing to like, look how terrible this movie is. But like on my social media, people who hated Batman v Superman love Justice League, and I'm hoping that with Thanksgiving weekend and everything like that, that'll generate enough good buzz, and second weekend will be stronger for Justice League, because I want another team up featuring these amazing
Okay,
characters.
so here we go. 41% for Rotten Tomatoes on the tomato meter. Audience score, however, is 83%.
Yeah, but nobody looks at that. Everybody looks at the tomato meter because of that fucking shit.
That's
I know it's just an aggregate, but people use that as their argument all the time, and it's lazy, and it's lazy. It's
Yeah.
fucking lazy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I hate Rotten Tomatoes. I really hate Rotten Tomatoes because of the culture it's bred around it. Like, your movie sucks if it's this, this, and this.
I don't experience enough people who use Rotten Tomatoes as an argument for movies, so
You hang around good people.
I hang around people who don't really talk about stuff. So there we go. But yeah, I'm surprised that it has a huge audience score though. Like that's insane to me.
People love it. There's lots to hope for. By the way, shout outs to the kids at the beginning of the movie for interviewing Superman on this podcast. That was legit charming.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was kind of funny.
That was
Not
that
funny,
was
but,
legit
like,
charming.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's it for you for.
Yeah, I mean, like, unless you want to talk about the post-credit sequence, because there was two
Yeah,
of
of
them.
course. Let's talk about the post-credit stuff. So, the first one that we see is Superman versus Flash. Like, not in a fight, but they're like gearing up and getting ready to race each other.
Yeah, it's a staple in DC Comics where the Superman and Flash race each other.
Yeah.
Like, it legit made me smile. It's like they're gonna race.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be anything else coming from that, but that was like a nice thing to see in the film.
No, yeah, it was just like a feel good, like here's a nice little extra scene.
Yeah.
Superman and the Flash racing on the big screen. You never thought you would see it.
I also want to say that the Flash, I give him a pass in this movie, but if he doesn't like mature or become a little bit more serious about things, which I don't think he will in the next movies, like he isn't like that doesn't. That's not a good characteristic to hold up. He needs to change. He needs to grow up.
Yeah,
Like
he does.
he can't be a bumbling idiot forever. He like literally, like legitimately tripped over something and fell.
Yeah, because like he's supposed to be super smart and even alluded to his genius, but you can't have him be dumb at the same time.
Yeah.
You can't.
He got a job at Crimes Lab, so that's a start. Okay, and the other scene. So we're in a prison, and they're talking to Lex Luthor, who's not turning around to face the guard to get out of the cell. And they find out that Lex is not there, and it's someone else, someone who's laughing a lot. And we come to a yacht with a boat pulling up to a yacht. Out walks a mysterious figure with 2 blades on his back and a mask. And we see Lex Luthor at a table on a yacht. And then we see the reveal of the figure. And it is Deathstroke. And Lex says that the heroes are forming a league of their own. So maybe it's time for us to form a league. And dun dun dun.
Yeah, pretty much setting up the well, they're called the Secret Society in DC Comics. They go by, or the Legion of Doom, as the more popular name is called.
I was gonna say, isn't that the Legion of Doom? But then
they switch. It depends. The more popular name is Legion of Doom, but like they usually go by the Secret Society because they literally hide in secret, and so the heroes can't find them. But I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect to see Deathstroke the Terminator.
Yeah, I didn't.
Like that was really cool. That's his actual thing. His Deathstroke the Terminator. That's his actual full thing.
Yeah. Lex calls him Wade Wilson. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy. Who's the guy that they got to play Deathstroke? Because I don't know.
Joe Manganiello, I think that's his name.
Is he unknown, or has he been in lots of other stuff?
I know he's been in some stuff, but nothing that I've seen.
Okay. He's got a good look. That's all I'll say for now.
I love his costume. I love this take on the Deathstroke costume.
Yeah, I like he has a good beard and hair. So that's all I'll say for now. I haven't seen him act yet. So yeah, that's interesting. I wonder where they're gonna go with that. Is that gonna be the next Justice League movie? Or?
Yeah, because I was full on expecting like at the end of Avengers 1, like where they tease Thanos and then we get to him or Thanos. And I was fully expecting like we're gonna cut away to Apocalypse, and you're gonna see Glorious Godfrey, and you're gonna see Granny Goodness. None of these names you're gonna understand, but for me, I would have flipped the fuck out. And then all of a sudden, you cut to like Darkseid standing with his hands behind his back, and then he like somebody says, "Sire, our emissary Stefan will fail. What do we do?" And then Darkseid turns to the camera, his eyes light up with red, and it just fades to black. I would have lost my shit. But we got I guess they didn't want to. They're not sure if they're gonna do Darkseid, so they didn't do Darkseid. So they figured, well, if we get another Justice League movie, we'll do a Justice League versus the Legion of Doom. So it means we'll get Cheetah, means we'll get the Grid, which is Cyborg sort of parallel. Maybe we'll get Reverse Flash. You know.
Okay, so here's the thing. As a non-comic book guy, I get confused between the Legion of Doom and what's Doctor Doom's thing.
What do you mean? He's just Doctor Doom.
But doesn't he have like a whole layer or something like with super villains?
No.
No? Okay, so I always thought like Legion of Doom was actually Doctor Doom's like.
No, Doctor Doom just rules Latveria. He's a dictator.
Okay.
Worked with villains before, but never like, you know, like they were just called the Cabal. I think that's the only. But Legion of Doom.
That's a Destiny thing, the Cabal.
Oh, okay. Well.
Okay. Now I'm just more confused. I don't understand comic books.
I mean, no, like Doctor Doom, no, because they're two different companies, and
okay, yeah, I get easily confused with comic book narratives. So, good thing I watch all the movies. All right, yeah. So, you have anything more to say, or is that?
More people should see it. It's definitely not. It's not the greatest thing ever, but when you factor in again everything that happened with this movie, it was not a train wreck. I definitely had my moments. I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out. You know, so I was entertained.
Yeah, there's a lot of good scenes in this film. It's just it's held back by the writing, I think. Anyways.
Also, Steppenwolf was a bad villain. Like he's legit boring.
Yeah.
He's your cookie cutter world conqueror. There's nothing.
When you when you said earlier that Steppenwolf is not the band, it's a villain. The first thing I thought of was Jason Momoa saying, like they were asking, it's like, what changed your mind? And he's like, Steppenwolf. I'm like, oh, he just listened to the Pusher, like while taking drugs. And I'm like, oh, so he saw the light that way. He had a trip. Yeah, Steppenwolf is a band. They're all right. They got a few good songs in there. Anyways, guys, that's gonna be a show. Ben, would you like to close out with your stuff?
Twitter.com/Marvelous Ziggy concerning all things concerning this upcoming Marvelous one. If you go to nerdcore.online, the website that I write for, I wrote a little mini thing of 3 essential DC. If you like Justice League, I wrote a little like 3 mini reviews of 3 very different types of Justice League stories. That hey, I like these characters. Where can I get more? Well, there you go. I gave you 3 already. If you want more, maybe there'll be a part 2 at some point that has a lot, because there's a lot of Justice League stories to go through. But I gave you 3 for the holiday season, so go have it at nerdcore.online is where you want to go.
Awesome. You can always find me, your host Thomas, at CSG Thomas on Twitter. You can find us all here at chargeshot.com. We launched a new show, Chairshot. Hope you gave that a listen. And until then, guys, stay charged.
Justin will be back next week.
Yes, no more wrestling.
I told you he was going to be mad.
That's fun. I just like that we're building like a narrative around the site now.
I think it's really funny.
Yeah. Save. Do I want to save? Yes. 3. Alright. I gotta get the site post up.
All right, I gotta go buy Steam games, and I need to finish another thing.
All right, man. Have a good one.
I won't be there for the charge for the Gamescast this week. I should be good for next week though, unless my fucking schedule changes again.
Just make sure you upload your audio for the Justice League review.
Yeah, I'm gonna upload it as soon as we get off here.
I need to edit that tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, no, it's gonna go up as soon as I finish, as soon as we get off the call. But yeah, give the guys my wishes. And I will see you later, man. Take it easy.